run the risk of being late with your edges. If you change your mindset from skiing initiation to initiation, it seems you naturally think about engaging those edges a little bit sooner than if you think apex to apex.
It depends on the individual. There's Kelby. It really depends on the individual, AJ. I'm not, I am neither going to tell you to do one or the other. It's whatever you're comfortable with in your own mind, how to do it. What my experience in the level three process was that all the teaching moments happens in the transition. So it was a lot easier for me to understand the relationship that was happening from starting one turn after ending another. So apex to apex made a lot of sense. I've heard other things like you need to ski apex to apex. It's harder for me to think about it in my own skiing from apex to apex than it is to describe it. So again, it's a comfort level, really, to be honest with you. I'm not an advocate for either direction. Whatever works for you. Kelby, did you go to Eastern Academy too?
I went to the mini academy the
Ah, cool.
Saturday, Sunday, and it was a lot of fun.
Did you get any takeaways? We're sharing takeaways from that by them.
I got to ski with Matt Boyd, and
Yeah.
it was really cool
Cool.
how we started talking about the finish phase of the turn and then went from there, really getting to the outside ski on a high edge angle, I guess, soon in the turn, or more so than I was doing. Um, and then the second day was talking about steering the inside ski.
Cool. Cool.
Short radius turns are really fun now.
Did
I
you
gotta figure out how to do it
They're a
medium
lot
and long
easier when you
radius.
get, yeah, they're a lot easier when that inside leg isn't in the way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we also talk a lot about releasing or unloading inside ski uh, to initiate the torrent. Like we were like walking. Well, what do you start? How do you start your when you walk? We tell when you're turning to the, let's say, left. You start with your left foot and then you follow. So
Right.
this somehow this kind of helps in the skiing.
Yeah, yeah, good. Anybody
Kel,
else got any takeaways?
Kel, did
And
you go down Superstar with short radius with Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't it great condition?
Hmm.
Yeah, it was
Nice.
beautiful.
Yeah, the conditions were really, the snow was really, really good because it had snowed a few days before. And uh, I mean, I was amazed because I know the trails, that the conditions were fabulous, even in the trails that I normally hate.
Yeah. We we desperately need snow here. Oh, I got like a bunch of emails I gotta add. Holy moly. That's a lot of emails. All right. Consider them added, please. Okay. All right. Anybody else want to comment on that? Or do we want to just dive right in?
So I'll just make a mini comment. The flow that Ilana and I were talking about, I took a class, a plenary session on flow, skiing with flow and intent. If you
Yeah.
go to February, excuse me, fall 2023 of 32 degrees, you will see an article by um, Susie Susie Chase Motkin. That's what we did. So if anybody's interested in skiing, changing your mindset and skiing with flow, take a look at that article, Fall 2023, 32 degrees.
Yeah. I think she has a book of, or doesn't she have a book or she follows a book?
Uh,
Book on Flow
Follows a
too.
number
I
of
believe
books.
it's in
I don't know
my,
if she has one. I know she does skiing book, but I don't know if it's about flow.
I think you're
there's,
thinking of Murmur Blakesley. She has books.
No, Susie
she
has one
is,
too.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
Hello.
hello. Yeah, I know there's a book out there that talks about flow too, but it's not specific to skiing. All right, cool. I got all the emails in, hopefully. All right, cool. If you know of anybody else who wants to join this group too, please reach out and have them give me the email. This is like I said 100 times before. I'm always trying to get people to, this is how I give back what I have learned, and it's not 100% about you guys. I get a lot out of this too, but sharing this information, I think, especially when we're talking about smaller venues that don't have quite the training that you require, especially when we start talking about upper level twos and threes. This is a good way for you to kind of get people connected and start talking about it. That's my little pitch for today. So anyway, how many people we got today? We got 17 people today. Cool. So I threw this video out. Anybody want to comment on this? This is the reason why I put it out there, because we've had a lot of discussion recently about counter and how we build counter through a turn. And I thought this was just a really, really good video. It's an older video. Actually, it isn't an older video. It's a newer video. That's why it popped up in my feed. Yeah, it was only from a month ago. I thought it was a really good video because it shows, because of the sweater that he wears, we probably did that purposely, but it shows all the alignment pieces, right? How the body is pointed in one direction as the skis move across to the other side. Anybody want to make any comments on this? Was this useful? Yes, no, maybe, silence. No, Dion wants to say something.
Um, I I had to watch it probably, I don't know, 3 times because at first I found it really disorientating. But I know a lot of people are using those 360 cameras and whatnot and filming themselves. And so I looked at it as a way to start looking at skiing from a different angle because he's not coming towards us. There's a lot of times I can't ever see the tips of his skis. So looking at the clues I have and trying not to be distracted by the angles of the camera that occur, I found this video to actually be really good at making me focus in on smaller cues. So I really liked this video because it made me have to think about skiing from a different angle. So that when I see somebody coming by me, maybe I don't see their turns as well because of snow or whatnot, but I can see them more clearly from behind. This gave me more practice at doing it that way.
Yeah. I got a video of two kids that I taught today that is going to be just like this. I got the longer pole, so it's like a kind of almost above. I haven't processed it yet. It is kind of disorienting. And the fact that he's kind of got the fisheye part of it on there too makes it really weird. So, anybody else? I really like this video. Of course, I really like how Richie Berger helps illustrate key points. Thank you.
So I'll say that I wish I
Yeah.
had seen this a little bit earlier before the clinic. I'll tell you the feedback that I got. In an
Yeah.
effort to be more dynamic, I was overcooking it.
Yeah.
And by overcooking it, I was, and I saw myself doing it on video, was moving my pole plant too far across my body, twisting my shoulders, causing my tails to, guess what, wash out, and putting me back aft at the too far aft at the end of the turn, meaning I had to do something for the next turn,
Right.
rather than playing a little bit more with the softening of the legs and rotation, i.e., dirt.
Right.
So for me, looking at this, it brings a picture in my mind of what I should be doing better.
Cool. Yeah. That's the point of these turns, isn't it? Hey, it's not always about the guest, it's always sometimes it's about me. All the time. It's always me. One of the things I really know that kind of comes out prominently in this one, and I'm not going to speak to the body or anything like that. Um, you guys seeing a lot of C-shaped turns? I mean, traditional C-shaped turns like this?
Yeah, they're not C-shaped, but I wasn't sure if that was just this weird fisheye.
No,
But okay, so he's definitely not what we'd say finishing his turn. Is that right?
I don't know. Is he finishing his turn? They're open turns.
They're open turns. Okay.
Yeah,
It might be really flat.
it is really flat. It doesn't look
Yeah,
like
but if he's transitioning from one turn to the next, he's finishing and starting.
Yeah. Maybe he
So
doesn't
he
finish
is.
the turn, right? Anybody else? I just thought that was really interesting that, we always talk about C-shaped turns in skiing, which I think is, as AJ has just described, that was me too. Overcooking turns, turning too much across the hill, especially in short turns, which put me in kind of a collapsed position, which I had to get out of again. And being a little bit more deliberate about shortening the turn at the end helped me become a lot better at those short turns.
So what do you do then? I think I know the answer. In fact, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure I know the answer.
What's
When
the,
the pitch is steep on a
yeah,
World Cup course like Superstar,
sure.
doing a open turn, by the time you take your fourth turn down the head wall of Superstar, you're going to be out of control. You're going to be
Yeah.
cooking with gas.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
what does
So
the
there,
turn shape need to be on an icy pitch? Oh, icy World Cup pitch.
an icy World Cup pitch, they're going to have to go a little bit more across the hill. You have no choice. You have to have some braking in there. And frankly, the reason why it says in the IDP carved as much as humanly possible does not mean carved all the time. These are purely carved turns, every one of these. But he's not on Superstar. He's on kind of a nice little green run. We have to allow sometimes the skis to go a little bit sideways. We have to allow that to happen. And when we're on a steep pitch like Superstar, which frankly I think I skied when I was 10 years old, so I can't really remember it that well. I just remember how steep it was. But you're gonna have to be a little bit more sideways. Gonna have no choice. But it's how you handle that piece that's important. You may have to be more pivoty at the top of the turn. Matter of fact, I recommend that you are. Because if you can get that ski to start skidding early, then it's going to shape better at the end of the turn. Does that make sense, AJ?
Yep.
Yeah, nobody's a World Cup skier, right? None of these level threes are World Cup skiers. They don't have to go down like Michaela Schifrin and try to accelerate out of her return. That's just silly and dumb. It's not useful either. So,
So can I
unless you're
comment? So
Michaela.
Terry Barber
Uh-huh.
had us doing the following to control speed on the head wall, and then on the last pitch, the descent,
Yeah,
which
cool.
was which was rolling the ankle, making sure the ankle is tense and controlled, but rolling the ankle to the diagonal to the, let's say, 11 and 1 o'clock position in the boot, which
Yep.
then tips the inside ski, gives you a direction using the inside ski with having that pressure then on the outside. So taking you, you're right, across, AJ, a little bit more of that hill for speed control, but also giving you, the skier, direction control, which you surely need on that pitch, especially if there's ice, that you can then control that slide and steer it. So that's what I found really worked for me. Also, that heel pressure helped to ground me with the whole foot on the boot.
Cool. I like the idea of heel pressure at the end of a turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we actually worked on that same concept of sort of tipping the inside knee kind of diagonally. Uh, and one of the other things that Jet Boyd talked about was being weighted the whole time,
Mhm.
the whole throughout all the phases of the turn.
Being weighted how?
Um,
Outside ski?
outside ski
Mhm.
primarily, but just feeling your foot planted on the ground, if you will, throughout all phases of the turn.
Cool. Yeah. And maybe,
There may be a,
inside 2 points to 4 points, the outside 2 points, or however you want to call it.
yeah, he really didn't talk about that.
Oh, well, okay. That's fine. Yeah. Oof, grew a lot today. All right. I just want to bring this video up and just to spur some conversation. And this is the reason why it's out there. I put it in the chat. If you guys want to look at it on your own or save it to your personal archives. I'm subscribed to Richie Berger, so I get all his new videos whenever they come out. I think he's one of the best skiers in the world. Dion did note something that I had noticed earlier when I first watched the video. It's not perfect skiing. And if we watch kind of the pole plants, you'll notice that new inside shoulder does drag back just a little bit in each turn. So it's not, even the best in the world, he just has a really good way of controlling that. But it's nice to see that, they're human too. All right, it's time to move on to the meat of the Mike. Go ahead. You have a comment?
Yeah, I got two actually. One, I want to do a correction out there. I did a bunch of research on leg lengths and stuff,
Okay.
and current research is inferring that proportionately men and women have the same leg length. Now, that being said, depending on who you read, like articles from the military, they kind of insist that there are differences. Now, there are other articles out there that do say women tend to have longer legs and shorter torsos. There's also research out there that says men have shorter torsos and longer legs. So, that being said, the whole gamut is out there, and I can't find a level of consistency even in some of the medical journals.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So at
think
this
what we
point in time, let's just say that proportionately, leg lengths and torso lengths are pretty similar. There are variations in any population, like you would expect. as well as climatic, hormonal, and a host of other things that can cause these variations. So anyway, that's a disclaimer from last session I was at. The other thing is looking at this video. I've been with several discussions trying to identify where leg lengths are the same, where the skis pass, where the new lead ski takes over, and there's been a range out there. What I think is interesting in this video is the leg length tends to be about the same at the transition. But what's also interesting is Richie here is squaring up to the skis at the end of transition at the initiation of the new turn, but that's also when the new lead change occurs, so he doesn't wind up with his hips aiming to the outside of the turn.
Yes. We talked about that. We talked about that at length yesterday, wasn't it? Yeah. Thank you, Mike. All right. So the
Well,
meat of
hang
the
on,
day.
hang on. Can you expound on that last comment, the square up at the transition?
Yeah.
You want to catch him right at transition. You can actually see on many of these that the tracks are flat in the snow, and you can see as the pelvic girdle is aligned to the ski. And just as soon as he goes to a new edge, the new lead change happens.
Okay, I caught it. I caught it right there on that turn. Okay.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna comment any more on that. So, all
Well, I
right.
missed your discussion yesterday, Chuck. Sorry.
No. You weren't into discussion. So it was just Dion and I were talking when were we over beers. So, and we were talking about this video and how interesting the video was.
So
All right. Yes. Somebody else had a comment?
yeah, I'm sorry because now I'm still on the video. Are you saying he does square up? Is that what we were showing? Is that right in transition he is more squared up? Is that what was
Um,
being said?
this is well, it's a subject of debate. So
Okay.
it's kind of the how and not the why, right? I firmly believe it's because when he pole plants, he uses a little bit of upper body rotation, and that continues into the transition, and that's where that squaring up is happening. But he is also doing a lead change in that transition too, and they're sort of related.
And
And
just after the
anything else
transition.
I add in, I honestly believe is just going to be a source of confusion.
Yep.
Oh, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah. All right.
Stop.
It's very, very, very good skiing. How about that, Laura?
Thank you. Better than who I'll have to MA.
You will not have to MA Richie Berger, no. And if they are asking you to pick out those little pieces, that's kind of a shame on them. All right. I think this person here is going to be a lot more of somebody you're going to see in your exam. Huh? Definitely at a level 3 exam. Somebody want to let's popcorn this. I'm kind of short on time tonight anyway, so I'm not going to be able to go the full hour or the full hour and a half. But, tell me what you're seeing. I thought this was a really interesting video, and the reason why I put it in there is because it's in Japanese, which means, I don't know how many of you speak Japanese. So you don't know. I'd really like to know what the guy's telling her. Because this is like not the change I would be looking for.
Just try and move that outside. That's what I'm assuming you took. Bring it forward and down.
forward and down. Are you thinking so? I don't know. That's just, and somebody,
All right,
Is
I feel like he's on his heels a lot and he's doing some funky things with his hips, like a little hip dump almost.
yeah. So you're seeing a hip dump.
Well, and yeah, and he's on his heels and
Mhm.
he's almost trying to turn with his hips, but his hips don't look like they're just dumping a little bit. And then he's on his heels. He looks aft to me. He doesn't look
is the angulation backwards?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. It's it's a
Well, it looks
Yeah.
like he's been told he's posing, like put your hands and keep your body in a certain way. So it looks very posed. And it does seem kind of backwards.
Yeah,
I'd
that's
say I would say he's displacing that outside ski, causing the inclination, and he's trying to create some upper body, lower body separation. But he, well, he has it, but he's not angling his upper body in an efficient way.
No.
Can't describe the upper body. I don't have good words for that.
I agree with
he's
Kel. I mean, look at he gets this weird C shape by doing this. I have to use Rebecca's words, almost like posing. It's this he's trying to get angles by almost throwing his lower limbs out there. And
uh I it looks like he's coming straight down the hill, but from the waist up is staying straight forward, and the waist down is moving back and forth.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, that's what we want to do, right? I don't think that's not the key to me. The key to me is that zipper line and which way that is pointing at in every turn. You know, the zipper of the coat, it doesn't really show very well. And again, I'm like, what are you talking about here?
I'm
But
really not seeing
also
much
this,
flexion and extent. I don't want to say flexion and extension, but more so, I'm really not seeing him move his center of mass down the hill or across his
There
body.
we
I don't
go.
see him
Now we're
getting
starting to cook
long,
with gas.
and I
Yeah.
don't see him getting short. I see his legs more so whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah. It's kind of
and
like
the
he's,
skis don't stay parallel throughout the turn.
yeah, he's supposed to loop. Why aren't you looping?
I agree with Kelby. The first visual that I have is that the outside ski is displacing and it's causing the center of mass to do some strange things.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's letting they're letting the skis move out, right? Which is kind of what we want them to do. However, they're doing it so fast without aligning over it that they end up riding the inside ski, right?
Right.
that in,
So in order to get the other ski to come back, they got to put it at a higher angle, which
yeah,
means that, yeah.
I was noticing that divergence of that inside ski.
Oh, well, it's indisputable. I mean, right here, I was like, what were you telling them? Because this is now worse.
Yeah, the inside ski is the dominant ski.
Oh,
Ooh,
lost it there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why would the inside ski be diverging if he has too much weight on the inside ski? Because I can see most of his weight is aligned over that
Well,
inside ski. So why
yeah,
is it diverging?
this is be a perfect example of watching what happens here because right here, which ski has got the most weight on it?
The outside.
The
The
inside.
inside.
Oh, the inside.
So if
Inside.
the inside has more weight on it, it wants to do what?
It wants to track at a different path.
Yeah, it wants to bend more and track at a different path.
Oh,
So that's when we get
okay.
this. Look at all the spray coming off that inside ski.
Yes.
It desperately wants to go faster than the outside ski. And that's where we see that divergence. And that's very, very common.
And
Especially
the outside ski is just getting completely away from him because it doesn't have enough weight.
it doesn't have enough pressure, so it's really hard to bend to get it to come back.
Okay.
So it's like Kelby said, you have two choices when you're stuck in that position. You can either create a higher edge angle and pray that it comes back at you, or you could just physically drag it back. And this person has chose to extend more and tip in more to try to get it to come back. But the process is the more they tip, the more pressure they put on the inside leg, which makes that ski want to track even faster. So it's a kind of a they're the their own worst enemy in a way. And that's where you get these kind of weird positions like there and there as they're slowing down. And it's like, why is that ski getting wet?
And it seems like he's not moving his hips laterally into the turn. He seems
Yeah.
like his one hip kind of goes inside the turn more than another one.
Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know what he's describing here. What is he describing? Is that the fore aft piece that he's trying to describe? I would love to know what he's telling. What he's telling me.
I
So
think he's trying to tell him how he should be turning to what he is doing.
yeah,
Because if you look at his hand gestures, it's kind of like when you put both your hands up to direct.
this looks almost like he's trying to do a Schlope drill, but not very well. You know what I mean? It's like put the hand out here and then switch sides and then here and here. Contrived.
I thought they were very much trying to get some angles to develop over the outside ski. I would like to point out, at least in that drill, there's not nearly as much
It's not as bad as it was before.
the feet don't widen
because
to the
because the ski's going another direction. Yeah.
the feet doing less of this progressively as we go along. So that's what I assumed that they were trying to do. But what I see is like
Skis are closer together. Maybe that was part of what the instruction is.
I'm seeing a little bit more activity in the lower legs. I think the first 3 days of this training were, can you make an angle? Until we could, now we're starting to get somewhere.
It's better, but it's still a lot of upward body twist. Comments from anybody?
To point out.
You want me to make a comment?
Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I see a couple of things happening.
Yeah.
One, the pelvis stays aligned with the feet. Right after transition, the new inside ski, which should be the lead ski, moves forward, but so does the pelvis. Any counter they get appears to be in the lumbar and up. So because the pelvis is leading into the start of the turn, their pelvis is aiming to the outside of the turn when they really need to get things aiming to the inside of the turn so he can start to get some pressure on that outside ski.
One or the other. I honestly think I think in this, yeah, I agree with you, Mike. We're thinking about how, right?
So anyway, I think it's
Reaching
interesting. We've seen this phenomenon before. I'm not sure what they are trying to get the individual to do, but from the US perspective, they shouldn't be going into that fake counter like they're doing, and the counter should be started in the pelvic area, not in the lumbar spine. And we shouldn't be shoving that inside ski forward with the pelvis so that the pelvis is aiming to the outside of the turn versus into the new turn.
So this is something Laura, you're very likely to see in a level 2.
Yes.
Just rotate to
Yeah, well, but yeah, yes, stick it out there, and you got to get it go the direction you want to do. Rotate to that.
this and it goes in.
No,
It does.
And so, barring that, I pretty much agree with what everybody else is saying about the weight being on the inside ski, the outside ski drifting. You're getting a little bit of a divergence because the inside ski is so heavily weighted and tracking.
Chuck, it looks to me like he or she drags the inside pole, which gets him angulated uphill, which puts weight on the inside ski. And I think after this coaching, the outside hand seems to be lowered more, like they're trying to angulate more properly.
we were talking about this last night. I mean, we honestly feel like they're trying to get her to get that outside hand out over the outside ski
And
create some angles. But I mean, the underlying issue for me is not really changed that much, which is, and I kind of stuck this in the email. How does this affect their versatility and adaptability? If she suddenly needed to start doing shorter turns, how is that going to what's going to be the change?
You're going to see a lot more up extension.
Yeah. That's why I don't agree. What I'm trying to say is I don't really agree trying to coach to one particular size turn.
I think this is besides trying to develop new movements because you have time.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. Yeah. Yes. I'm going to let it go. Cool. We got 10 minutes. Do you guys feel like you want to do one more video altogether, or do we want to break out into breakout rooms? Got 18 people.
Or are we quitting at 7 today?
Yeah, if you guys want me to.
With 10 minutes left, why don't we work together?
Because this is something that you're going to probably. This is something that you can. So what do we see? Oh, jeez.
Snow.
The skier appears aft.
Skier appears aft. What makes you say that?
I see the tips are off the snow. And I see the hips over the tails of the ski.
Okay. So what's the ski doing then?
The skis appear to be pivoting and less steered, and there appears to be less outside ski pressure, and the skis seem to be moving with the snow versus the skier steering the skis.
Boy, that's a lot of stuff. Can we pick one of those? You want me to give you one?
Why don't
Because
you give me one?
All right, let's go to rotation.
Okay. So his legs are not moving independently under the stable upper body. The legs and the body are moving in unison.
Okay. So what does that mean in terms of what he's doing now? What are the skis doing now? And you could do it from top to bottom or apex to apex, I don't care. What are the skis doing in terms of the rotational piece? I'm not disagreeing with anything you said. I just want to kind of button it down to the few key points.
You can see
Looks like
due to the upper body rotation, the skis are
Mhm.
pivoting from the front, causing the tails to wash out through all three phases from turn to turn.
Okay.
is he not skiing like we did in the 80s where you do the hop and you shift over?
I don't know. I don't know because I haven't interviewed this person.
so
So I can't really speak to intent.
It looks like as he goes to turn, he hops.
he does.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I thought that the skis were pivoting from his heels or behind his heels because he does, I know this isn't rotation, but that he's so far aft that he's turning from his tails, not his tips. But so I'm not sure who's right.
And as he hops here and there, when he hops, he gets up there and it shifts and comes down and goes one way, and then he hops and goes the other way. Or that's what I think I see.
It also appears that there is initiation and finish, that there is not
Yeah.
a shaping phase of the turn.
Yeah. This is like the consummate Z-shaped turn, isn't it? It's like
Yes.
initiation or preparatory, execution, and then finish. Yeah. Does one ski turn before the other?
Outside ski.
Yes.
Yeah. It has to, doesn't it? I mean, it's kind of hidden by some of the snow, but we see separation between the legs. Kind of gives us an indication what the ski's doing. And then he kind of brings his skis back together and then hops and does another little, there we go. And there we
Okay.
go. Huh? Well, he's got to get that thing started somehow. I haven't got to that point, that piece yet, but yes. All right, now we can start talking about the body rotationally. I'd like to hear from a couple of level 2 candidates, if I could, please. What is the body doing that's causing the skis to do what it's doing?
Well, he has at initiation, he has upper body rotation, and then there is very little shaping phase, as been said, and then the body completely follows the skis through the finish. So he's squared up, and his body is with his skis. There's never counter a step created.
Could you be very more specific about what body part is causing the rotation?
His torso, his upper body causes the rotation. His torso, I'd say he's turning from his shoulders.
Shoulders, okay. Does everybody agree with that?
I think he rotates his pelvis, and the femurs are attached, so they rotate because the pelvis is moving them.
You can see the hips rotating, so the pelvis and the hips together. I mean, the shoulders, when he hops, that upper body naturally does that, but then the hips or the pelvis are making the rest of it.
Agree, disagree, concur? Now I can bring in some level threes for maybe some more clarity. I know this is pretty ragged.
I don't agree that his turn initiation is from the shoulders. It seems that there's an unweighting of the skis. So it appears to me to be a lower body movement.
Lower body, how?
Lower body, meaning that the weight is transferred from the outside ski to the inside ski. It appears to be almost an opposite movement of what we would coach or recommend.
Okay, is that a cause or an effect?
I say that that's an effect of the unweighting.
Okay. So there is a twist that's going on.
So
It's obvious he's got to get it going somehow, right?
to expound a little bit on what Ilona is saying, there's an up unweighting. That up unweighting, however, is a result of being so far inside.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Cool. So we're starting to look for a little cause there.
He's so far inside. Where's he going to go? I mean, he's got two choices. He can up unweight, or he can, well, he's probably got a few choices, but two that are outstanding are an up unweighting or heaving his body across his skis to get to that that new edge to initiate the new turn.
So now that we're talking about up unweighting and inclining into the turn, we're not on rotation anymore, right? Aren't we on ski to ski?
Well, I think what people are trying to do now are trying to look for a cause and effect relationship.
Okay.
So the primary is still rotation. I'm still looking for an accurate description of what the body is doing to cause the skis to move from side to side without any of the extension piece.
So
Does
just
that make
ignoring the
sense?
extension piece,
Yeah.
what you kind of can't, but let's ignore it for a second. How is he going to move his skis to the new set of edges? Well, the way he's doing it is cranking his shoulders around, which then brings his legs and skis around.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
what I'm not, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm noticing that he's popping up vertically and it makes his ankles opened more, not flex. That's why it's hard for him to go flex throughout all phases of the turns. So he
Yes.
has to pop up and be vertical to initiate the new turn.
Yeah. He's stuck, right? I get that part.
Yeah, that's why he's popping up and ankles are open, and then it gives him momentum to switch to another ski.
but how is that switch happening? That's the question.
That's the key. That's what I'm looking for.
The ankle gets opened. It's not flat.
But the ankle
He's
is
too
open.
vertical.
The ankle is open. To get an open ankle, to get to a flat ski where he can actually turn that ski, how is that
You're gonna step in.
how is that starting? That's the question.
Because it changes from turn.
You know that
So
he's
he
popping
gets
up.
taller
No.
vertical.
We all agree that. We all agree that he's coming up to unweight the ski to
That's
make it
not
flat,
scripted.
right?
But
Once the ski is flat, how is the twist? How is the turn of the ski happening?
Yes. I'm also noticing they're just
That's the
think when
question.
He's
By
using
I
his
think
lengthening
when
kicks.
his legs.
But they start first.
I
yes.
think when he pops up, he's shifting his hips
Yes.
in a different direction. So when he lands, it goes in the other way. Then your ankles and everything else
Which means
will
it's
follow in.
No, and I agree with you.
And when he gets to that hop, he shifts his center weight over,
Hips,
and then he can go that other way.
hips and shoulders all of them.
they're all, it doesn't matter, but I was looking for something specific.
See, when
The
he hops, he shifts that center over and go the other way.
okay, so what did you just do?
And it's a very
Do what?
small movement.
What did you just do?
I think
You
it's-
just
I think
demonstrated what he was
he used to
doing.
be a counter rate. He's
When
trying.
when he's doing when he pops up, he shifts his
Oh,
waist
and it was
over,
just a fucking
comes down and goes down that new angle, and then when he pops up again, he shifts his hips over in the other direction, which steers his skis in a different way each time on that pop up.
Yeah. So the hips are part of what? The upper body or lower body?
Upper body.
No, I think we made,
All
but I think
heads
we
are the
made,
lower body. The hips are part of the pelvis, and that's part of the upper body.
Yeah. So it's an upper body. We have an
It's
upper
up
body. It's an upper body twist. Now,
Yeah.
can we all agree on that? He's in deeper snow, right? And his only way to get the skis to go from one side to the other is some kind of upper body twist. And I think he's adding in the extension to get his skis cleared enough that he can actually do the task. So that's a counter rotate.
Yeah, that's
You
Now-
know, I'm going to throw an observation out there,
Okay.
and that is, though your guys' discussions are coherent and many of those attributes can be observed, take a close look at right after he's got that up on weighting, what direction do his shoulders aim and what direction do his feet aim? And then, though I heard people saying there's that outer shoulder and arm leading, I'm going to have you take a really close look at that again. And take a look at it as compared to the ski. So yes, there's a rotational move. We used to see a lot more of this. We're seeing less nowadays. It's a very athletic move.
He starts with upper body rotation at the top of the turn, and then when the terrain seems to get flatter, he moves into counter rotation.
Bingo.
Thank you, Kelby.
It's a lot of counter rotation in there. He's using that. It's a very rapid movement. The skis wash, the shoulders and feet go opposite directions with that up unweighting. And some of the turns, it's more obvious than others, but it's definitely a counter rotational move. Good job, Kelby.
Is he counter rotating or because
Not
I'm not
every turn.
I'm not
And take
seeing
a
it.
look at the shoulders and feet, how they go different directions. And take a look on the inside turn, the outside shoulder is leading, but he's turning to the left, which means his left shoulder is leading, not the right. And you can see that if Chuck were to stop it on some of the stills. See how the left arm is leading on that turn?
Oh, okay. I
It's
saw it on
not the
that one.
outside arm
Yeah.
leading, which would infer upper body rotation.
You can see it super well right there.
There, yeah. There's several of them that it's really obvious.
He's and
Chuck did this on purpose.
absolutely makes sense. Dion and I agree. He counter rotates on one direction and he kind of rotates the other. It's not counter rotating on every turn. That's a counter rotation. That's more of an upper body rotation.
Yep, but
So,
most of his turns are counter rotation. I do
yeah,
agree that some of his
I
is
think
more
they
of a body
originate as
rotation,
counter
Chuck.
rotations. Yes, I agree. I think his intent is to trying to be more of a lower body rotator, but he hasn't figured that out yet.
Right. But he does make counter rotational moves on both turns. But
That
he
would be
does
K,
get that
because this is a K
occasional
thing.
upper body rotation for a couple of the turns. That's obvious. It's a counter rotational move there.
Right.
There it is. There it is.
What's the tip off? The outer shoulder rotating first?
Take a look at the shoulders and the skis. If he's coming at you this way, the shoulders and skis go different directions. It's usually
Yeah, so right
accompanied
there,
with an
yeah, you
up
can see it right
unweighting
there.
and a fast rotation of the feet. It's usually got fast movements for the up unweighting and a slight down unweighting where the upper body or the torso, shoulders, arms go a different direction from the tips of the skis.
Yeah, it's an old dig me turn.
Yep. And, you know, thrusting the heels out, that's all part of it.
We don't see this very often anymore, but we still see it because I watched some guy come down the hill today and I was like, holy moly, that is such a dig me turn. And it was just the swishy taily pushing around. It's very confusing because you think when you're forward, that moves a pivot point forward. Not for the dig me, man.
Yep.
They're very adept at moving the tails from side to side. Really adept.
We'd see this guy in a one-piece suit on Gaper Day.
All right, another video. This one's more advanced. All right. Ah, yeah. I forgot about this one.
Hey, it's after 7, Chuck.
I know, but that's all right. I got to keep everybody entertained. I want everybody to get a piece. All right. Short turns. What are we seeing? And do you want me to give you a focus? Edging.
Tails are
I'm
washing
neat.
out.
Edging. Oh, not this guy. This guy's good.
I think that might be Peter Novum.
It might be. This is an East Coast video.
Yeah, this is at Sugarloaf.
What are we seeing?
He's coming back and forth to burn off speed.
His speed control is not through the shape of the turn, but by friction.
Cool. How's that do it have anything to do with edging?
Yeah, he's
I,
having to
I
really
agree.
edge.
I'm not. I mean, you could say that's a side note, right? Hey, maybe he's accelerating. He needs to do something to slow down. And it's good skiing.
You can see
As
his
you guys
knee.
are talking earlier, when you're on
Mm-hmm.
a really steep slope to come across, and that's a good example of that.
Yes, but what is he doing at the initiation? What is he? Tell me that. What's going on here? How are we achieving edges?
He's reaching out and planting and moving
Sure.
his upper body, and then his legs follow, going back and forth. And when he gets too much speed, he puts a better edge
He's
till he
tr-
slows up. Then he transverses back and forth.
he's turning to an edge rather than starting with an edge.
Okay. Everybody agree to that? Maybe, sort of.
When he's going fast, he's using a lot of edge, and when he slows down, he's not on the edge as much.
Yeah, but how is he getting to an edge?
I'm
By
inclining
pushing that
towards the hill.
outside leg out.
There we go.
He tries to release the inside edge. Well, timing. He releases that inside ski sooner than the outside ski, and then to catch up, he pushes that leg away from him and gets that outside ski on a higher edge angle.
So who said that he rotates to an edge? Somebody did that, right? You
I
have
think I
to.
may have. I don't know.
Yeah, somebody said something like those lines. Look what this is the difference, right? Gee, the tip is the tails are following the tip. Huh. Are the tips following the tail? Are the tails following the tips with this guy?
Mm-mm.
Well, yes, there is a step, a 1-2 step. So that means that kind of gives me the indication that both skis are not tipping at the same time.
Hip follows,
Mhm.
Yeah.
especially on the right footers.
Yes.
So it blocks him from starting.
And one of the things we noticed too is that there's like a lot of fake counter going one direction and not fake counter on the other.
Which means he dumps his hip.
He dumps his hip.
And he dumps his hip because he lets his hip follow through.
Sorry, trainer talk. Does this make sense? So he tips, he rotates to a tip, or he rotates to an edge, or as Kelby said, he moves the edge out to get on it. Because you see it right there. That is definitely not using the ski performance. That is really pushing the tails out to try to get the skis to slow down.
Same shape.
Not the same shin angles. There's some, I mean,
And his,
honestly,
his
he's,
pelvis is rotated to the side, forcing him to bring his hip.
you're gonna have to speak up because AI's got to hear this too.
His pelvis is rotated to the outside of the turn, which uses up his available rotary in his femur, so he can't tip his inside leg farther inside or turn it. He's used up all of the available rotary in that femur, so he has to drop his hip inside to create the edge, which also, as he's extending at the same time he does that, pushes the ski out from under him.
Watch the other side. It's different. It's not the same turn. Right? At least his body's pointed more down the hill and his pelvis is pointed more down the hill. So it's not as prominent on this side, but it's the same result.
There.
But yeah, that at least the skis or the pelvis moved with the skis this time instead of
And he ends up
this.
Yes,
Yeah. He's so
he's
braced.
locomoting. He's stepping forward.
Yes.
So you're saying he's rotating his hip to the outside of the turn
No, he's rotating his hip to the inside of the turn on one turn.
on this turn
He's
here?
This
rotating
turn.
his entire pelvis,
So, and
not
he's-
just one
he-
hip.
Say that
Yeah.
again?
His look at where his pelvis is headed right now. And his upper body is aligned with his pelvis. It's moved, it's over here somewhere. Right? But when he goes to the other side, and look how far forward the inside ski is.
Yeah, so that's going to create the hip dump and sort of an A-frame there.
Yeah, so he's put himself in the perfect position to rotate in.
But you're
right?
saying
And
that the
rotate
hip is,
out, rotate the hips in, and rotate the pelvis out.
Dump the
Right?
hips.
Dump
okay,
the
but
hip in.
the hips are on the inside of the turn, right? I'm trying to understand inside outside here.
Yes.
They're
So
on the
think about it this way.
inside.
He inclines his hips into the turn, but
Yeah.
rotates the pelvis so it faces out of the turn. So if you think of the two iliac crests of your pelvis, the two big
Yeah.
pelvic bones, Those
Yeah.
are rotated to face the outside of the turn. So it's the same thing that
Oh.
happens when you take a step forward. Your pelvis rotates a little bit.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. The iliac crests are facing to the outside of the turn,
Right.
but his gluteal area is to the inside of the turn.
Yeah,
Correct.
his butt crack is not pointed
Now
at
I'm
us.
understanding what you're saying. I'm confused about inside outside. Now I see what
Yeah.
you're saying.
Yeah. But watch the other side, right? That's a beautiful rotary push off. Yes.
But even there, it's starting to happen because
He's still doing it. It's not to the extent or as early as it is on the other side. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? He's more aligned here.
Nice pizza.
When you use a rotary push off, you got to do something with that outside ski, old outside ski. Right? And then he gets to here, there's still a lot of the same things, but it's not quite as obvious on this side.
Mm-hmm.
The pelvis is still slightly tilted to the outside. And he's more than it should be. And the inside leg is moving forward quite a bit.
And he's
Well, I think that's a result, though, isn't it? That's an effect.
and
And then there's the rotary push off to get him to the other side because we got to get the skis moving away from us to start tipping. And then look how quickly on this turn, how quickly the pelvis actually never even it gets rotated because he kind of follows his skis here. And then it just stays rotated to the outside. And then there's the dump. And it's still rotated to the outside. And bam, right?
Mm. He's got a giant inside tip lead there too, huh?
Yeah, very prominent on one side. And I know this summer we beat this guy to death, and we kind of noticed there might be a little bit of a side hill on there. It's not accounting for this. This is just asymmetry of his turns.
And then you watch both legs extend at the same time. His hips and pelvic girdle go up, and then he tosses his upper carcass down the hill instead of along the length of the ski.
Actually, those short
So
turns.
there's a bit of a pause at the top with the body movement as the skis wash out.
But at least he's not twisting so bad.
Then they finally engage to take him somewhere after the fall line.
Yeah. Is AJ still with us? No, AJ's gone.
He's an interesting skier.
He's a very interesting skier. I mean, and the key that why I bring these guys up. I mean, we beat these guys up a lot over the summer in the RMT group, but these are folks that we're going to run into in your level threes, and we have to be able to analyze them and take a look at them. We're not looking for bad. What we're looking for is how does he get to an edge? Because this guy tips. He tips his legs and he gets a nice round turn. And this guy is definitely shoving.
He's almost more like a Z-shaped turn compared to the other guy.
It is. It's a very kind of real quick movement. And then if you notice how long the finishes are, right? In comparison to the top of the turn. The top of the turn is very quick. And the bottom of the turn is delayed. So they're very comma shaped. Hyphens or whatever you want to call them. All right. Everybody get a piece out of that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes?
Big time, yeah.
All right. Next week, I definitely will make more time for us, and we need to break out into rooms. I think that's important. And let you guys discuss amongst yourselves. Cool. Thank you very much for coming, and we'll see you guys next week. Any last questions?
No, Informative. That was really good.
Thanks for letting me join you guys.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah, thank
you.
you, Chuck.